Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ajiro Tech. Mm-hmm. Ajiro Tech. Happy New Year. I've been dying to say it. Welcome to 2026. This is really, really amazing. I'm so glad if you're watching this right now, it means that you've made it. I'm so excited because you're watching, I'm teaching. We kind of have this in 2025. And the beauty about this is I'm actually doing this video. Yeah, exactly. January 1st, 2026. How amazing is that? And then most will be like, come on, Mr. Joe. Come on, really? Yeah, really. Because the February March 2026 exam is really around the corner, and the students are going around looking, where do I go to? Who's going to be my savior? And right here, I have something for you because this is the first time in the whole of the YouTube space, in all of the internet, that I actually get to teach you the second part. We've done the first part of chapter 11, video editing, and we're looking at the second part of it, which is the audio or sound editing. And this is amazing slide. It's part of the combo plan. It's an amazing slide. It is right here. I've taken out my time to design the slide, put the slide together so that I can teach you and you can learn. Are we ready? Year 12 students, AS students, are we ready to learn audio or sound editing? I'm so excited because this is 2026. We shouldn't be excited, really. I'm super excited. I'm excited because I get to teach you again. We've done amazing thing in 2025, and now we're doing this again in 2026. Okay. So this is a comprehensive guide to sound editing, and we're using Audacity, right? It's the software. The software is actually free. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to use the CapCut or Adobe Premiere Pro. You don't have to use all the softwares. Literally, you don't have to use it. You don't. You don't, right? You just have to use Audacity. Do you really have Audacity? Okay, now it looks contradictory because I don't know if Mr. Jai is referring to if I have Audacity as like, do you have what it takes, or do you actually have the software? Okay, I'll let you debate on that. Okay, so we're covering a lot of things right here, from importing audio, audio effects, exporting projects is a whole catch. So get your popcorn, a cup of coffee, because it's going to be an interesting lecture. Trust me, sound right? Okay, so let's go ahead. All right, so we have our learning objectives. It's very important that we start off still with our learning objectives. So upon completion of this chapter, which is the second chapter, the second part of this chapter 11, you'll be able to, number one, understand digital audio, having a grasp core concept of the digital audio representations and sound wave principle. You'll be able to apply effects and filters. We'll look at the high pass, the low pass, so many effects. We're going to talk about echo and all that, equalization and all that. So we're using various audio effects and filters to enhance and manipulate sound quality. The next one we're talking about is master Audacity interface. Now we'll talk about master Audacity interface. We're talking about how do you navigate and utilize the Audacity software interface effectively for your audio editing tasks. The next one we talk about is to comprehend audio format. How do you know the various format that you're supposed to do, right? And that simply means you need to understand different audio file formats. You need to understand comprehension what techniques as well. Okay, are we good? So let's go. What is audio editing? A very important question. What is audio editing? When we talk about audio editing, it involves manipulating sound recordings, okay, to enhance the quality. So most of the time, I do this all the time. Either I'm using my the Fruity Loop, the FL Studio. I'm using Cubase. That's for the producer level, right? You want to edit some sounds. You want to manipulate the sound to actually get what you want, and that simply means removing imperfections, right? Arrange content. so that you can have a free flow of it. Now, since we know what audio editing is, that it means manipulating sound recordings to enhance the quality, and then we get to remove any imperfections. Why do we need it? For audio editing, it is critical in music production. I mean, you know all your top artists. You know the way they sing, and when they sing it, and when they pitch the note. We're going to be talking about pitch. We're talking about the speed, the multiplier, the amplitudes, and all that. And you're like, wow, this is my favorite artist. But you didn't see the favorite producer. You saw the favorite artist, because the producers are the ones making everything possible. Yes, I'm not a discrediting artist. You need to have unique talent to be able to go to the studio, give us something, and then we take it from there. But the producers have a lot of work to do to ensure that the sound is great, right? And if you're listening to this, you probably notice that the sound is great as well, right? The sound is great as well, unlike the previous videos we've been doing, because kudos to the Holy Land. I'm not doing any advert to them, the Onion Lang A1, the M1, amazing mic, right? So kudos to them. Podcasting, when people are doing the podcasting, you want to, the audio impacts the audience. And if you have a clear audio, you have a clear signal, and when you're talking, you can be able to relate with it. And then audio post-production. And this is why it is very important for audio editing. Again, it is to transform raw audio into polished, professional sound production. Remember your exam, everything you're going to do must be of professional standard and fit the business context. So it must fit. It must be something that you can be able to go out there and say, okay, this is not bad. This is actually good. Again, it enables creator to correct mistakes and enhance what? Audio quality. Now, most of the time when I'm talking, I'm saying something, there's some things I probably shouldn't have said, right? Or it wasn't probably aligned. I would just trim it out, right? Cut it out, right? We use trim for it. So what are those Audacity features? We have the waveform editing, we have the effect and filters, we have the trim and split, we have the amplification. I'm teaching you this as a teacher and also as a producer, because when it comes to audio and sound editing, you must have the skill set for it. Make sense? You must have the skill set for it to be able to know how you can go about it. Why learn audio editing? Number one, why do you have to learn it? Number one, for your exam, right? It's not there in the slide, but it's for your exam, right? Because you have your exam. And for virtually everyone, you have no choice but to learn it. I know, you have no choice but to learn it, right? So apart from that, it's a skill that you need to have. I mean, the world is digital. If either you're doing a podcast, or you're doing TikTok, or you're doing YouTube short, you would want to edit your audio. Literally, figuratively, you want to do that. Nobody wants to put in content when the audio is not of good quality. You don't get the audience. And at Ajiro Tech, we are all about improving. That's what we are, because we want to give you nothing but the best. So enhance your skill. So that simply means why you need to learn it is so you can master essential techniques for creating professional quality audio. For my students who have enrolled in the private tutoring, we've talked about the audio editing, the theoretical aspect, the practical aspect. They have actually learned a lot. That's a skill right there. So if you have not enrolled into the private tutoring, I don't know. We did a podcast on it. Why you have to enroll into Ajiro Tech Tutoring. I mean, we did a podcast on it. Better believe it. So it is something that is, you really want to, just click the button, enroll, and get yourself the verb. Not just for IT, but across every subject. You do not want to miss this opportunity in 2026. You must have missed it in 2025. Don't miss it in 2026. Enroll now. Join in to our private tutoring. You're not going to regret it. For IGCSE, for A levels, you're not going to regret it. Creative control, right? So you could take full creative control over your audio recordings. Problem solving. learn to identify and resolve audio issues, right? So you need to now learn to identify and resolve it. So you can see an audio waveform representation. You can see the way it's going, right? The way it's moving like this, it's going like this, like this, like this. So that's just the pitch of the sound. Most time when you're talking, it's going, and when you're not talking, yeah. Okay. The Audacity workspace. So this is how the workspace looks like, right? So this, like I said, is a software. The software is free. You don't have to pay anything for it. I've said it, right? And if you're wondering where to get it, the link will be right here in this video description where you can download the software for free. You're not paying anything for it, right? So you have right here are your first timelines you have, and this right here is the workspace where you can now bring in the video, bring in your audio rather. You bring in your audio into this, and then you can manipulate on it. So this shows you your selection from what range to what range. So what are the key interface elements, right? So we have timeline, right? So this displays the audio track for manipulation, your timeline when you need to manipulate it. So you see your various timeline here, where you can now manipulate it from what and what, right? Each track represents a separate audio element, and they can be edited independently. The next one is toolbars. Now, if you look at the toolbar, it provides quick access to essential functions. You can see something like your selection tool, effect applications, playback controls. So these here are your toolbars. Right here are your tabs. This right here are your tabs. Then we have the waveform display. What are waveforms? Waveforms are visual representation of audio data. That's what waveform is. Waveforms, for your note, are visual representation of audio data. It shows the amplitude variation. What's the amplitude? The volume over time, and is used for selecting and editing the audio region, the region in which you want to edit. Then we have the control panel. So what's the control panel? The control panel helps you to adjust audio properties and apply effects. Okay, so apply effects. That includes track controls, selection settings, and transport controls. Now, it's important for you to familiarize yourself with the interface layout, okay, to navigate the Audacity efficiently. Okay, the arrangement of elements can be customized to suit your workflow, especially for your exam. So you need to know how to familiarize yourself with them and then know what is expected from you. Okay, drag and drop file menu. Now, there's this debate, which is easier. It all depends on you, right? Most times, if you go to my the tutorials I do on audio editing, you see that drag and drop. Sometimes you can go to file, open, and then you can import that particular audio. So it all depends on you, right? Literally, I think I'm on the side on the method one, right? Just drag and drop, literally. That saves you stress, right? So just get the file, drag it to the workspace, and then you're good. The new track will be created for the imported audio. Okay. Audacity supports, take note of that. Audacity supports MP3, Wave, OGG, right? OGG, and then even the AVI. But for your exam, you have it as MP3, Wave, OGG, AAC, or M4A. Now you can drag multiple files to create multiple tracks. So when you drag your audio files into the workspace, you will see it as a track, right? Again, the import dialog offers options for different file types as well. Okay, are we having a good time? So just hit on the like button, right? And let me know in the comment section what you've learned so far. It's so important because I need to know that. We've talked about waveforms, but we're going extensively on it. We said waveforms are what? Visual representation of the data, of the audio data, of the sound waves, showing how it is changing over time. If it's going on a high note, on a high frequency, let's see the right term, high frequency, on a low frequency. in Audacity, it appears as a waveform that helps you understand and edit your audio. So if you have a straight line, it simply means that there's silence. But if you have some waveforms, it simply means that it's either an instrument or a vocal. So different waveform types. We have the sine waveform. You see it right here. The sine waveform, the square wave, the sawtooth wave. We have other kinds, so many of them. Okay. And then we have so the waveform, it goes like this, and then of course talk about the amplitude, which is your volume, right? And then we have the louder section. So when you have a higher amplitude, right, indicating louder sound, then we have the quieter section, right, that indicates a softer sound. Okay, so you can use waveform to the waveform shape to identify where to trim silence, because most time in your exam they'll tell you trim the silence from trim the silence, trim in the first first seconds, trim the silence. Okay, look for the waveform peak to avoid clipping when amplifying. So very important. So look for the waveform. If you need to amplify, you need to look at where you need to do that. And we'll talk about it right here. Okay, so we've talked about the drag and drop and the file method. It's still the same thing to just show you how you can go around it, right? So if you want to do a drag and drop, you have to locate the file. Locate the file, for example, Ajiro _Ndi, and then you can now drag it to your Audacity interface, and then it will be imported as a new track. If you're looking for the second method, you're going to the file tab, select import from the drop-down menu, choose the audio, and then click on open. Okay. So it adds to the current project. But for the drag and drop, it supports multiple ones. What is DC offset? What's DC? Direct current. Okay. Come on. Let's learn. We really want to learn. I'm not talking about DC, like not the comic. No. Direct current, right? So when we talk about the DC offset, I want you to pay attention to it, right? It is when your waveform is displaced from the center 0 point. So there's an offset, so it's displaced from the 0 point when appearing off center on the 0.0. So you have, if you have your 0.0, it's not starting at the 0 point. So it's an offset. Why does it matter? That's a very good question. Why does it matter? It can cause clicks, distortion. It can reduce available audio volume due to limited headroom. This is where we have to normalize. This is why we have to normalize. And what's the benefit of normalization? When we now normalize it, it helps us to remove the DC offset. Now we have the waveform centered at 0.0 in the line. It improves the audio quality. It prevents distortion. How do you remove it? That's a very good question. How do you remove it? And right here is a practical step on how to do it. The first thing you want to do is you want to select the audio clip you want to normalize. What's the audio clip you want to normalize? And then click on the Effect tab in the menu, and then choose Normalize. Now it's going to open a window for you. Normalize window is going to open. Okay, and then you will see Remove DC Offset. Check it. Remove DC Offset, and then you click OK to apply. This is a practical step, right? Normalizing adjusts all audio channels to a consistent, so it makes it a consistent level for you. Okay. Adding and managing multiple tracks. How do we add multiple tracks? We've talked about how we add it. We either use the first method or use the second method, right? The drag and drop or the file menu. So when you're working with multiple tracks, it allows for complex audio composition and professional sound editing. Now, what do you mean by multiple tracks? For example, the first track could be the instrumental, The second track could be the vocals. Now, if this was music production, you have your instrumentals in various places: the percussion, the claps, the kicks, the piano, the guitar, all playing their role. And then you have the intro of the vocal. You have the verse 1, you have the bridge, you have the chorus, the verse 2, you have the hook of the song. You have everything to make it. You have the background vocalist, everything to make the sound look good. And all the things have been done individually, and then we're now bringing in the track. Now, in the FL Studio, you can also do that as well. So you can have the first track as your instrumental, the second one as your audio, right? And the good thing about it is you can actually do it directly from either your Cubase or your Audacity. Now, what you do is when you import your instrumental, you can now add your mic to it, and then you can sing on the instrumental, and whatever needs to be adjusted can be adjusted. Now, that's at a more professional level, right? At a more professional level. So adding tracks, right? So you can import additional audio files using the same method. Each file becomes a separate track, and then you have your track management. What's your track management? You can adjust the height for better visibility. You can mute tracks. There are some tracks you need to mute so that you can hear other tracks as well. Does that make sense? Then we have the multi-track benefits. We'll talk about the multi-track benefit. We're talking about different layer, it layers different audio elements, and then you can now apply the track-specific elements. So you can use different colors for different track types. So the colors will help you. You can use different colors so that it's easy for you to be able to manage, right? To say, okay, this color is for this color is representing this for you, this color is representing this for you. I mean, for the producers or those who are into sound, who are listening right now, you probably know what I'm talking about. So the colors that helps you to be able to differentiate, right? Differentiate how this, what it means and how you can go about it. Trimming and cutting unwanted material. What's trimming? Trimming allows you to remove unwanted materials, such as sudden noise accidentally recorded. So you have a sudden noise, right? That is not supposed to be there, and then you can trim it out. Again, it is also needed if the length of the track has to be reduced. There's some, for example, you know that videos are also includes audio, right? Right? So there are some cases why you want to do a voiceover on a particular content, and you need to trim it to be 30 seconds to engage the users. If it's too long, you want to just find a way to trim it. And of course, one way to also do that is to increase the speed, because the higher the speed, the shorter the length of the track. Okay, we'll talk about it when we get there. We'll talk about it as well. Okay, so this could be due to only a certain length being required to save storage space. So the shorter it is, again, the more reduced the file size. Okay? All right. So this shows you a comprehensive guide of where you can trim, right? And what you need to do. So essentially, how do you trim? You select the portion that you want. Again, you can use the start and end selection counter for precision. So when you are highlighting the portion, it might not actually be exactly the thing. Let's say, for example, let's say 5 to 8 seconds. You highlighted 5 to 8 seconds. But if you zoom in, I can promise you it's not really 5 seconds. It's not. So that simply means that you need to use the start and end selection to be able to ensure, because we have your hours, minutes, and seconds, to ensure it is the 5 seconds to 8 seconds. And then you can delete. Right? Delete. Yeah. Because if you go to edit, you could go to edit and cut. If you go to edit and trim, is that part that you want to keep? So it all depends, which part are you keeping and which part are you taking away. So remember what I talked about trimming and cutting, right? Is to remove unwanted. So trimming and cutting. Cutting takes out the part you don't want. Trimming keeps the part you want. Are we together? Are we learning? Trimming keeps the part you want. cutting takes the part you don't want. Good. We're learning. Okay. Just let me know in the comment section what you're learning, right? For students viewing, if you're watching this on YouTube, just let me know in the comment section what you're learning, what you're not getting, and we'll try as much as possible to help you on it. Right? Tips for trimming. I've talked about it. You can zoom in for accurate selection, and then you can use the selection counter for precise timing. In summary, are we learning? Are we having a good time in January 1st, the 1st of January 2026? Are we having a good time? For those on YouTube, those online, perfect, right? I'm so happy that you're watching this, you're learning, and I'm so glad because this is 2026 and it will be that year where we all get to celebrate your academic success. All right? Okay. Splicing and joining audio clip. When we talk about splice, splice is to join. We talked about it in video editing. Now we're talking about it in audio editing. Now, there are numbers of reasons why we want to splice two clips. One could be to make the two recordings flow uninterrupted. So we do the splicing a lot, right? An artist could be singing one verse 3 times because we didn't really get the vibe for the first one. Oh, the note wasn't what we wanted, right? So go again. Okay, you know what? I think you're not in the right space right now. Go home, have a cool time. Tomorrow we come back on it. Go again. And then we get to pick the best verse and the second verse, and then we splice them together. Okay. So what you'll be hearing will be that uninterrupted flow from one clip from one sound clip flowing into another, but it took us work to be able to put them together. Another could be we want to combine the best part, like I said, from several recorded performances of the same artist, or from the same performance, or from the same act, from the same scene, whatever. Right? So you have them as before, you have them separate, and now you have them together. They're joined together. Okay. Are we learning? Good. Applying fade in and fade out effect. Now, this is where some students get it confused. Fade in, fade out, what do we really mean? Now, when we create a smooth transition for professional sound quality, fade in and fade out is very, very essential. We are saying that for fading, this is where we can select the first few seconds and then we'll do fading. So it starts and then reduces so that whoever wants to speak can speak. So fading is at the beginning of the clip. Fade out is at the ending. So you can now select the last few seconds and then you can fade out. There are some songs that don't have ending. So we producers, we have to do a fade out because the artist doesn't know how to end the song. They just keep singing, 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 and doesn't know where to end. And we producers, we're tasked with the fact of ensuring that there's an ending to the song. Let it end. You've sung enough. I'm pretty sure it will get to, if you're lucky, 50 views. Okay, I'm joking, right? Maybe 100. Okay, no, sorry. Okay, fine. Your K views, your millions of views is fine. Okay, but fade out is important. It lets us know that it is coming to an end. That's what fade out means. That particular song or that particular sound is coming to an end. So the fade in creates a smooth starting transition. The fade out creates a smooth ending transition. Those are the difference. And I've given you the reasons why we use fading effect. The music ending is not obvious. We don't know it's ending. We need to know. The audience needs to know. They deserve to know. They're streaming from Spotify. They're streaming from Apple Music, Amazon Music. They need to know that it's ending. So they can probably go to another one quickly. Okay, no, okay, sorry. So they can probably repeat, right? Repeat the song, right? Again, it's to create silence before an audio. So if you watch a movie scene, in the intro of a movie scene, there's that sound, and then there's a fading so that the voiceover to narrate what the episode is all about can come in. Again, when to use it, we've talked about two things we need to use it. The third one is to smooth clip beginning or ending, to smooth it. And again, to soften the drums and percussion sounds. Sometimes we do this, especially when we are going from the verse to the chorus. So there need to be that transition. The fade and the fade out helps us to do that. Okay. Yes, I know we are learning, right? Good.
A lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the Edexcel and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fee is really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E-levels as well, and also for the Edexcel. So we have for the Cambridge E-levels and Edexcel E-levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E-level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time, even physics, for E-level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at ajiro@gmail.com, and they'll reply to you.
Okay. Converting stereo to mono and amplify, what you call your amplification or your amplitude, right? So let's talk about this. Stereo, mono, stereophonic, monophonic. Those are the words. Stereophonic, monophonic. Now, for stereo, it has two channels, the left and the right. Sometimes you listen to some songs, very, very good. Now, you probably hear the beat, the instrumental from your right, and then you hear the artist singing from your left. Do I have a weakness? Yes? Do I have a weakness in the house? Good. Now, for mono, it is monophonic. So that simply means that everything is combined into a single track. So what happens is that there's a stereo, there's a mixed stereo down to mono. Okay. It's so cool right now because we're having this class on the 1st of January 2026. It is raining in January 1st, 2026, and we're having a good time. Right? We're having a good time. So stereo makes it 2 tracks because we have 2 channels. Mono takes it to 1. Okay? So you have to select the audio you want to convert and then go to your track tab. So if you click on the track tab, right? Select mix, right? Then when you click on that mix from the drop down, you are going to choose mix stereo down to mono. This is an essential part in your exam. If you're wondering what I'm saying, it's very important in your exam because most time they will tell you to make it to be mono. And you have to now convert it from stereo to mono. You have to do that. It's one essential part you'll be asked to perform in your exam. The next one is amplification. When we talk about amplification, we have correct volume imbalance. It corrects the volume imbalance after mixing or to adjust a quieter section. We talk about amplitude, it's volume. So what is the steps when it comes to Audacity? What do? We select the sections, the section that needs amplification. We go to the effect tab, we select amplify, and then we ensure that we allow clipping. That you ensure that you see it, allow clipping right here. This. If you look at my screen, allow clipping is unchecked. Allow clipping is unchecked. And then that will be done. All right. Any question? Those watching on YouTube, any question? Just let me know in the comment section if there are questions. Okay. Are we having a good time? Yeah. So let's talk about the post-slide adjustment. Some things just to recap what we've said. Trimming techniques. We'll talk about trimming, right? It adjusts the final left of the combined audio. Remove any unwanted part, right? Ensure clean transitions at clip boundary. Monitoring changes. Always listen to the changes using your earphones. Now, in your exam, you will not be allowed to use your earphones, your headphones. You'll not be allowed to use your headphones. So you have to gently play the audio in your exam, or not to cause distraction, because most of them, when they do, they just start playing. It's an exam. Ensure you can play gently. You can listen to it. The invigilator is going to grant you the access to do that, because you need to listen to what you are editing. Very important, even for video editing, if it has sound. So you can verify so that you can verify the desired outcome. You can check for distortion or wanted artifact. So let's talk about the recommended workflow. We talk about align tracks. We're going to talk about it. It's to ensure the clip plays sequentially without gaps. So we usually use end-to-end. Mix and render, right? We merge individual tracks. That's what it means, mix and render. So you merge individual tracks to a single stereo clip. Trim excess. So we use the trimming techniques to refine the final length. And then listen and evaluate. Those are recommended workflows that I have for you. Listen and evaluate. Use your headphones or listen gently to your speakers to verify that. So ensure your laptop has good speaker. I remember one time, yeah, that was last year. Yeah, see, last year, last year, yeah. Last year, 2024, one of the papers, the student's laptop was bad. Laptop was given was bad. He or she could not listen to the final or to the process of modification of your tracks. So ensure your laptop has the speaker is working, right? Okay, I won't say more than that. Ensure the speaker is working. Okay, all right. Saving and exporting your project. Okay. So preserve your work in Audacity requires understanding the difference between saving project files and exporting audio. There's a difference, please. The difference between you saving, when you're saving your project files, it simply means you can always go back to that project if you have made an error. And it's always important to save your project. It is important to save your project. Students just export their audios without saving their project. And when you make a mistake, how do you edit when you have closed it? Do you understand what I'm saying now? Good. So save your project. So you go to the File tab, click on Save Project. You can choose the location and give it a desirable name that relates to what you are working on. So you can always remember. And for your exams, for exam purposes, always save your work inside the source file that you have extracted. Now, for the A2 students, you have to create a folder called examination for the 13 students. Of course, that's where all your work, you don't have to, all the process and everything should be in that folder. You don't have to remove everything because they want to see everything. So it's always advisable to ensure that your work is inside your source file. Everything is inside. Exporting audio. Create playable audio files for other devices. Now you go to File, you go to Export, and now in your exam, you have .mp3, .ogg. Yeah, I think those are the two common extensions that will tell you .ogg, .mp3, right? We also have .wave, that's WAV. We also have .aac or M4A, right? So this can play on any device. When you're exporting audio, it plays on any device. But when you're saving your project, it's only readable in the Audacity software. Take note of the difference. It's only readable in the Audacity software. I want you to pay attention to this. I want you to really pay attention to this. Okay, so it's very, very important. So save frequently during editing. I can't stress this enough. Always save. You are not the one that built the laptop. Anything can go wrong. Always save, right? Save your work. Save your work, right? Okay. Change the pitch. How do we change the pitch? Now, it's important for you to understand that you can alter musical key without changing the tempo, right? We have key C, we have do re mi fa sol la ti do la sol fa mi re do. So we have key C, we have D, we have G, we have F major, G minor, we have flat, and all that and all that. Okay, so you need to know them. You need to know them. So select the audio in Audacity, select that audio, highlight the audio, that track, navigate to Effect, go to Change Pitch, adjust the setting in the dialog window, right? So they tell you to change it from C to F. That's how you do it. Okay, so take note, changing the pitch without affecting duration. Doesn't affect without affecting what? The duration. Okay. Doesn't affect the duration. So take note of that. Okay. Alter the speed. Now the speed is going to affect the duration and the pitch. Yeah. Now look at it. When you're doing a 2x, right? You're doing a 2x or 2.5. Right? Or 1.5. I can see you laughing over there, right? Or 1.5. You know, it's going there, right? So it's important because most time they might tell you to alter the speed, and you need to know how to do that. So you go again, select the audio, go to Effect, change the speed, and then when you want to adjust, use speed multiplier to set new speed, and then click OK to apply the changes. So, for example, here you have the speed multiplier as 1.4. Just like I said right here in this slide, select entire clip before applying. Select entire clip before applying. Select entire clip before applying. Okay, so if the original speed was 1x and you have changed it to 1.4, notice what will happen. the pitch is going to be higher. What about the duration? It's going to be what? It's going to be shorter. If the duration of the track was 30 seconds, when we increase the pitch, when we increase the speed, what's going to happen? It's going to be shorter. It's going to be shorter. Okay. Are we learning? I want to know we're learning. Okay. How do we apply noise reduction? Noise reduction is a vital technique for cleaning up recording by minimizing unwanted background sounds. Noise reduction. So right here, there's a fan. The AC is on because obviously I'm doing this this session, and there are noises. Like I told you, it's raining. Right? It's raining, but you can actually hear that. Right? Like I said, kudos to Polyland company. The mic is super amazing. Before noise reduction, what do you have here before noise reduction? Can you see this? Before noise reduction. Now, during the process of reducing the noise, what do? There are two things you do here. You get the noise profile, and then you apply noise reduction, and then the noise is gone. Let me explain this again. The first thing you do is to select the part that has the noise. Forget a short segment containing that noise. Select it. Go to Effect, Noise Reduction, and click Get Noise Profile. Now, once you click it, it takes you back to your audio track. Then select the entire audio file. Then go back to Effect, Noise Reduction. You can see it's practical. I'm using that because I'm using the imagination to explain it to you, right? So you could understand. So you go to the Effect and Noise Reduction again. Now you review the default. Now, when it comes to applying that, the default is -12 dB. dB means decibel. Take note. It means decibel. Right? And then you click on Apply Noise Reduction, and then you click OK to apply. And then that is done. Okay. Add or adjust reverberation. Reverb. What is a reverb? What is a reverb? Reverberation, or what you call your reverb, simulates the natural echo that occurs in a physical space. Adding depth to a voice or instrument. So we can reverb it in such a way that I'm speaking from a room, or from a studio, or from a market, or from a church, or from a classroom. But I'm not actually in a classroom. I'm trying to paint a picture for you. That's reverb. Are we learning? That's reverb. So it gives depth to a voice or an instrument. What are the key applications? Creating immersive soundscapes, adding special context to audio, enhancing vocals with natural warmth. So reverb can transform a simple voice recording into a more expansive and professional sounding element. So, like I said, a room size, we add a reverb, makes it complete. Right? So what do we do here? We could just maybe if you have a file of Ajiro Tech, you navigate to a specific session, then effect, reverb, and then you can add parameters to it. Now, the good thing about Audacity is that it has what we call, it has some preset. Some preset that you can actually choose from to aid you, especially as a student, because you don't have the time to start knowing which one is which one is this, which one is this, which one is this. So the presets are there to help you to navigate your way around them. Are we learning? Just I need to know in the comment section that you're actually getting the vibe. Are you getting the vibe? Because it's 2026. Are you getting the vibe of this? Are you getting the vibe of this? Okay, I want you to get the vibe, feel the vibe, understand it. Because when you're faced with such a question in your exam, in your paper 2, and especially for your theory paper, because sometimes you do come out in the theory paper. For students who have enrolled into private tutoring, they have questions on it, both the theory and the practical on it, so that they can know when it comes to this, we can be able to do. And just like I said, we're covering all the chapters for the AS from chapter 1 to the last chapter. We're going a full blast on it because I want you to learn, right? I want you to get the best. Okay. All right.
A lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdExcel and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fee is really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, and also for the EdExcel. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdExcel E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time, even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at ajiro@gmail.com, and they will reply to you.
Apply equalization. How do we apply EQ, equalization? That's what it means, equalization. Now, what is equalization? Equalization means boosting. Now, when we talk about boosting, boosting means increasing the amplitude or attenuating. What's attenuating? Who can tell me? Yes, you are not year 11, you are year 12. You're AS, you're done with IGCSE. This is right. What's attenuating? Let me know in the comment section. For the other students, what's attenuating? Good, reducing. That's what it means, reducing. Attenuating means reducing. So you can either boost the frequency or you can reduce the frequency within an audio signal. Now, there are two things you need to know. We have the bass, which is the low frequency, and we have the treble, which is the high frequency. Now, when you're playing your guitar, when you're playing that, so you're adding the bass to it. So you see that it's low. Treble is high frequency. If you're in the choir, you know we have the treble, we have the alto, we have the tenor, we have the bass. Right? Okay. So it also enhances what? Certain elements or filters unwanted frequency. So how do you assess it? You go to effect, you go to your graphic EQ, and it presents that slider. So you could, if you have been asked to increase it by 10 decibel to add clarity for the treble, you can actually do that. Just slide it up by 10. And again, the bass boost amplifies the bass frequency for a warmer sound. The bass is always warm. The bass is always warm. Okay. Any question? We're good? All right. Apply high pass filter. Okay, I want to explain this. We have high pass filters, we have low pass filters. Now, what is the high pass filter? Now, high pass filters allows frequency above a certain cutoff point to pass through while attenuating. So there are some filters that we need to, there are some sounds that we need to remove. Now, the Holy mic is AI, has its AI features, and it has the high pass. It has the high pass filter because it's able to eliminate the fan noise. Like I told you, we have an AC, right? The AC hum or hiss. Right? There's a rain sound outside. It has eliminated it. It even removes rumble from the microphone. Okay? So it allows frequency above a certain cutoff point to pass through while attenuating lower frequencies. So those lower frequencies like the fan, the AC hum, the rain will be out, while your voice can pass through. And for those who either using the DG mic, the DG mic, or you're using the Holyland Lank A1 or the M1 or M2, you understand what I'm talking about. How to use it in Audacity. Select the audio you want to, the audio region you want to be filtered. All right, the audio region to be filtered, and then navigate to effect, go to the high pass filter, adjust the cutoff frequency slider, and then click on OK. Now, it is important for high pass filters to apply noise reduction filter before applying high pass filters. So apply the noise reduction first. Select the area that is noisy, go to effect, noise reduction, get profile, select everything, go to effect, noise reduction, click on apply noise reduction, okay, and then you can now go to effect, select everything, go to effect, go to the high pass filter, and then you can now adjust the cutoff frequency slider. So it removes the rumble for microphones, eliminates fan noise and AC hum, clean up muted bass frequencies in vocals. Are we good? It's really, really a good time. Are we having a good time? Right? Yes. From a happy new year, right here in class. We're nearly in 2026. We're starting strong. Starting strong. Okay. Somebody's not happy right here, right now. Okay. Okay, but we are all learning. You're getting this knowledge, right? As the first time you're learning audio and sound editing in this magnitude, first of its kind in YouTube, you don't want to pass it by, right? So what is low pass filter? Now, it's a filter that permits frequency below a specified cutoff point to pass through. No, the other one was above. The high pass was above. This one is below. While attenuating, which is reducing the higher frequency. Now, you don't need to apply noise reduction before applying a low pass, because it removes some of those frequencies already. There's no need for that. Are we together? There's no need for that. So what are the key applications here? Removes high frequencies, hiss or noise, shapes tonal quality to create a warmer sound, creates more distant sound audio element. So here you can see that we have the row off slope, and then we have the cutoff frequency. You can see that this is the cutoff. So this is the cutoff here. Anything above this is before. So anything below this, right? While also reducing. So you can attenuate the frequency above the cutoff point with options for stillness, steepness of transition. Are we getting it? Okay. We're almost done. Don't worry. We're almost done, right? Apply echo and decay. What's echo? What's decay? When we talk about echo and when we talk about decay, echo creates a repetition of a sound that gradually fades over time. So it keeps echoing. Oh, 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 oh. So it keeps going. So there's that echo, right? Mimicking a natural echo in large spaces. So when you are in a room and you're speaking, so you say something, there's an echo. It keeps going to hello, 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 and then it fades over time, right? It's playing in large spaces. So this transforms the single sound into more expansive and atmospheric element. But what is decay? The process of losing decibel each time the sound is repeated. So there's a decay of it. We are losing decibel. So we have the delay time and we have the decay factor. Now, the delay time talks about the duration between the original sound and its first repetition. So 2 seconds. Hello. And then we add the decay factor, because take note, you are now losing decibel, your dB, each time the sound is repeated. Right? So how do we do this? Select the audio segment. If there's an echo on it, go to effect, go to echo, select delay time and decay factor and click on OK. Why is this important? What are the applications for it? It makes vocals sound more dramatic. So it's like it makes it more dramatic. It creates the atmospheric soundscape. It enhances the musical note to be resonate longer. We use it for the most of time, for the instrumental, for the percussions, for the kicks, and for the right. What is overdubbing? What is overdubbing? The process of adding new audio track to an existing record. So you add extra instrument to a music track to give it richer. So you have the instrument, you're not adding other to make it, the beauty of a song is how rich the instrument is. Okay, so to give it a richer, a fuller sound. So you're putting other tracks onto an existing tracks. So in another way, it is often needed when a voiceover is needed to explain the content of an existing soundtrack. So you're not explaining why it's overlaid, what your market is, if it's jewelries, if it's whatever you're marketing. So we use it to, again, in summary, to layer instrument, add harmonies, incorporate voiceovers. So how does it work? You have the instrumental track, which is the original recording. We have the voiceover track, which is the new layer, and then you combine them together. Does that make sense? So now, that's the most simple term. Right? So that is why you can always split it. We have the vocals, the artist who is singing, and then we have the instrument. So if I just want only the instrumental, maybe for a TikTok, for the TikTok advert, so other artists can also hop on it, right? So I can put overlay it and then take others out, right? So that they can actually hop on it on the instrument. So they have the instrumental track with them, if a few seconds or a few minutes, 30 seconds, and then they can be able to overlay their tracks on it, and then they can do, if it's a challenge or something, and then they mix it, and then they can be able to lip sync on it. Okay. Literally, that's what they do. Okay. All right. So what is the overdubbing process in summary? You add a new track, you can import a voiceover into your Audacity project that already contains an instrumental track. You can align the tracks, right? So precisely position the new track relative to the existing audio using align tracks, then start cursor and then end cursor, so that it will be end to end. Make sense? Then we have the voice adjustment, right? So you can reduce the volume adjustment, right? So you can reduce the volume of the background instrumental track, right? Doing the voiceover effect. So for example, you could negate it. If it's positive, it is boosted. If it's negative, it is attenuated, right? Okay, and then you can mix and render. So that's what when we talk about mix and render, we're combining all the tracks into a single new track using your tracks mix render to new track. So that becomes a new track entirely, and then you can, don't forget to discard the old one. Okay. All right. Are we having a good time? Okay. Audio mixing and rendering. Okay. So you can add multiple tracks. You can align the tracks. You can apply docking. I talked about docking. What's docking? Lowering the background music volume, doing voiceover. So what you are doing here is a volume adjustment known as your docking. So when it's time for the person to speak, that particular area is reduced. You're adding your fade in, and then that part is, the docking is being applied. And then you go to effect amplify, and then you add a negative value. Remember, it is -12 at default. So whatever you have there, -12 with what you have, that reduces it. Does that make sense? So if you have it as 3 positive and they say you should dock it or attenuate it, adjust the amplitude of it, then just add -12. So you do your calculation. Then you mix and render. Select all the tracks, go to tracks, select all the audio data, your track, go to tracks, mix, and render to new track. Okay. After mixing and rendering to a new track, you can remove the original individual tracks to simplify your project. Very important. The final complete track preserves all your editing and volume adjustment. Sampling rate. We have sampling rate, we have sampling what? Resolution. Now, when we talk about the sampling rate, what does it mean? It's the number of sample of audio data that is being captured per second. Now, it could be in hertz or kilohertz. Now, I want to explain this. 1000 hertz is equals to 1 kilohertz. So you know how you do your calculation. 1000 hertz, which is your H in uppercase and then Z. Then for your kilohertz, the measuring unit is K in lowercase, H in uppercase, and Z in lowercase. Good. So numbers of sample of audio data captured per second. Now, what's the impact on audio quality? What's the impact? The impact on audio quality is, one, we have a higher sampling rate which captures more data points. Two, we have more accurate representation of the original sound. So the more higher sample you have, the more rate of it, the more it captures the original sound. That is why a CD, a DVD, and a Blu-ray, the difference in the sound is clear. Are we together? The difference in the sound is clear. Because the higher the sampling rate, the more accurate the data point. It's important for you to note that the human ear is limited in regards to the frequency it can actually hear. And as you get older, because many people don't know this, when you're playing your sound, you play it so that the whole community is going to know you're playing the music. You don't do that. Are you hearing me? To most kids, when they are playing, the sound is on the highest volume. Their ears are blocked on their headphones. Don't do it. I beg you in the name of Allah, don't do it. Reduce it. You're still going to hear. You're still going to hear. The song is not going away. It's not. I don't like it. I want what's best for you. Yeah. I want what's best for you. Okay? So the range of frequency you can hear decreases. So the human ear has a hearing range of around 20,000 hertz. That's right. That's 20 kilohertz. Meaning that for higher quality audio, the sample rate should not be below 40. That's why you have your audio within that range. Sample per second. Take note. Right? If sampling rates much higher than this are used, most people cannot hear the difference. So here is the sample rate. Now, if you're making your calls, the voiceover, the sampling rate is 8,000 hertz. For speech, it's 32,000 hertz. If you're playing a CD, it's 44,100 hertz. I've done the conversion for you. For speech, it's 32 kilohertz. For voice over internet protocol, it's 8 kilohertz. Audio CD is 44.1. DVD that is 48,000 hertz is 48 kilohertz. Blu-ray that is 96,000 hertz is 96 kilohertz. Okay. So you can look at the logarithm scale, right? You can see that Blu-ray is the highest. After Blu-ray is what? DVD. After DVD, we also have, that reminds, we also have AM radio. That's your FM radio. That one is 22,050 hertz. Yeah. So that's 22.05 kilohertz. So you have your Blu-ray as the highest. If look at what I'm talking about here, right here, your logarithm scale. You have your DVD, and then you have your audio, you have your AM, and then you have your telephone. Okay. Are we learning? Let me know in the comment section if you're learning. I want to know that you're actually learning. Okay. All right. Sampling resolution. What is the bit depth? So it indicates the numbers of bits used to store each sound sample. It indicates the numbers of bits used to store each sound sample. Okay. So we have the higher bit depth, right? We have it as the greater range of amplitude value. Okay, of amplitude value. So the higher bit depth gives you a greater range of amplitude value. We have more accurate conversions from the analog to digital waveform. Now, back then we have about 8 or 4. So because of that, it was not given for voice. But if you're playing games, you look at the resolution. is always the frame, the beat, the beat there. You can see this 8 beats, 16 beats, 32 beats. So I think from 16, 32, 24, 32, it becomes better. So the 16 is CD, 24 is for the professional audio, 32 is the high-end audio. Okay, so 22-bit has difference often beyond human hearing, though it offers more precision. So that's why we usually have it at 24. Okay, so higher bit, they provide more precision, resulting in better sound and fidelity and less noise. Are we good? All right, finally, audio compression. When we talk about audio compression, it reduces file size while managing the quality. And we have two types. We have the lawless compression. What's the lawless compression? It reduces file size without quality loss. Now, this one will reduce it without quality loss. The size is going to reduce, the quality will still very much intact. Original files can be perfectly recreated. And we have the common formats, the FLAC and the ELAC extensions. So it identifies and encodes repeated patterns in data. Yes, I know. Even so, what about the WAV? We'll talk about it. It's also a container in the lawless. We'll talk about it, right? I know the wave. I know. Some projects there will say, well, what about wave, right? I will explain that. I will do that, please. I will do that. Now we have the lossy compression. We'll talk about the lawless compression, which reduces file size without quality loss. The lossy compression removes some audio data, reducing the quality but creating smaller files. So this one is going to reduce the audio data. What is uploaded in streaming platforms is not .mp3. No, it's .wav. Yeah. What you download is mp3 because it's being reduced. Are we together? It's being reduced. How it works? It removes the audio data outside human hearing range. So that makes it, that's why if you download an audio, an mp3, it's 3 point something megabits, MB, right? Megabyte, or the least 5 megabytes, 6 megabytes. But if it's .wave, it's higher. It could be like 30, 40, 50, 60 megabytes because it has everything. So it's a significantly smaller file size. So we have them as .mp3, we have them as right here .aac or .m4a. M4a. Okay. So what's dynamic compression? So dynamic compression reduces a signal dynamic range by attenuating the loudest part. We now know what attenuating is, right? And then boosting the quiet part. So there are some parts that maybe the artist did not perform very well. We're singing a song and dropped the bar. And we don't need to. So we boost it. The parts that are very high, we attenuate it. So how it works, it makes the waveform appear more compressed with less variations between loud and quiet sections. Some engineers believe these techniques can improve sound quality by creating a more balanced signal, and they are not wrong. So this is before and after compression. Now this is now better because you can see this now. There's a lot of inconsistency here. So this part now we need to boost this part. We need to boost this part, and this part here we need to attenuate it. Look at it now. Look at it's too high. Can you see that? It's too high. We need to attenuate it. So now we now have a more balanced signal. Okay. Exporting for different media. Now, I said I will explain the wave format. So for the wave format, it contains the lossless container, the lossless container. So it can hold pure sampling rate. The reason why I didn't bring it here is because the lossless, is also part of the compression. But in this case, this one does not, it reduces the file size without quality loss. Wave does not reduce it. It has everything. This would reduce it. That's the reason why I didn't add it here. This will reduce it because the original file can now be recreated perfectly. This cannot be played by any form of it plays by that software. Are we together? It plays by that software. Okay, so you know what I'm not talking. So the .wave format is also part of the lossless compression. .mp3 widely used for loosey format, general digital playback. It has the Blu-ray 96 kilohertz and then 96 kilobit per second, right? And for the wave, it's streaming with 16 bits over 24 bits. Then we have the M4A, like I said, M4A or AAC format. This is a loosey format. So loosey. The sound is bad because the file size is very, very low. It's small, right? So it's similar quality at smaller size, very smaller size. Say smaller than the MP3. Sometimes it wants the same thing. So it requires the FM PEG library, right? So whenever you are exporting those settings, you have to look at it based on what? Here, my slide, I said based on target medium, audience, and examination requirement. Examination requirement. If they say .ogg, .mp3, don't do something different. Why are you doing something different? Why? They're not the same thing. They're not. So please, don't do something different. Finally, key takeaways before you go home and go and enjoy your New Year celebration. Audio fundamentals. We've talked about digital audio, which represent what? The sound waves as numerical sample, allowing for precise manipulation and storage without degradation. We talked about Audacity mastery, how you can master the interface, the effects, the tools to efficiently edit and enhance audio recordings. We've talked about technical concepts. What are those technical concepts? We've talked about sampling rate, sampling resolution, compression, okay, attenuating, boosting, okay, echo, decay, those key terms. Now, best practices, file management, right? Regularly save your Audacity project. So it goes as .aup, your Audacity project. 3, to preserve all tracks and edit for future modifications. So always save your Audacity project. Please, always save it. Noise reduction. Always assess and reduce background noise for a cleaner audio recording, especially for voiceovers. Export settings. Choose appropriate export format and setting based on your targets, your requirements, be it examination, audience, and what have you. By applying this principle, you can effectively manipulate sound to achieve desired creative and technical outcomes. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for learning. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you are missing. I don't know how to say it. This is a home of so many resources, right? This is the Justice League of academics. You don't want to miss it. Okay, if you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you've not joined our Discord community, I don't know what you're waiting for. The link is somewhere. You see the link there. Just scan the QR code or click on the link and join. Right? I think it's bit.ly/IGCSE community. That's community. It's both for IGCSE and A-level students. We use IGCSE community because we started with IGCSE, but now we do have A-levels. When A-levels are there, join us and join your other classmates around the world to collaborate and learn. You can use the study voice channels, the Hangout voice channels. Get to know yourselves. Learn. There's no better place to learn than in Ajiro Tech. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Please do well to have a blissful 2026. Go there, have fun, have a good time. Don't forget your books because exam for the February March 2026, exams are around the corner. You just have barely days for your practical exam. So don't play too much. Okay, don't play too much. And for the major students, is in April. I think April 19 or something about April for 2026 major, right? As of the time of this recording. So April. So you don't have time, right? So please, and if you're watching this in 2027, 2028, 2029, welcome, 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 because this is an essential tool for you. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.